If you're a financial planner, IncomeMax is just the tool you need to make the planning process easier and faster. With IncomeMax, you can create a detailed plan in about 20 minutes, capture your client needs and financial resources, position products such as life insurance, disability, long-term care, and even stock solutions. And you can illustrate not just the retirement years, but also the wealth building years. So IncomeMax works great for folks that are building their wealth and for folks who are already retired. Let's take a quick look at the application. This is the Client Basics screen. It is information that you enter for all of the areas that you might work on, but we want to focus right now on retirement. Retirement works off the idea of a scenario, and a scenario is one approach to solving the problem. So what you might do is initially put data in as what is the client doing today? So how's the client currently approaching their retirement? Take their retirement ages and life expectancies and just go ahead and run their numbers. Then once you've done that, entered all their data, their assets, and so on, you can copy that scenario and you can make the changes that you see are appropriate, and that's where your expertise comes in. So you can have any number of scenarios. I only have one in this particular case, but you can have a number of scenarios that might show what if somebody lived till 90, what happens if we retire at 67 versus 65, what if we retired at 62. You can have a number of scenarios showing these different types of things. So in retirement, you're going to capture several things. You're going to capture what are the needs of the client, what are their assets, what other income do they have, such as pensions, things like that, what life insurance plans do they have, what, plans at least that will be in effect when they retire or when they die. And then you can look at results, and we'll talk a bit about cash flow and net worth. So first question to be asked is the retirement needs. How much does someone need during retirement? Tough question to answer much of the time. But once you have an idea of what you want, this is where that data goes. And one of the things that's neat about IncomeMax is you can see up here, we have a section showing the results. Right now, they're 2 years short of their goal, and they basically didn't make it. Well, what happens if we go from $55,000 a year to $50,000 a year? How does that change things? We'll hit update, and right away we see now they've made their goal, and they have $652,000 left for their estate. So IncomeMax shows you right away the effects of any data changes. This is a really nice thing. You don't have to enter data and then wonder once you get to the results, why do these results not quite look the way I expected? As soon as you enter data, you'll see the result. For example, if you accidentally forgot a zero, you suddenly realize they have $3 million and the graph looks odd. So that's a very nice feature, having this sort of instant update on the page that you're entering the data. So once we've determined their needs, let's enter their assets. Assets are entered on this screen, the retirement assets screen, and basically pick a particular asset type. In this case, I just happen to pick tax deferred. We say add that asset, and we go ahead and we fill out who owns it, what's the institution of where it's being located, what's the balance, we'll say $30,000, and a projected rate of return, 8%. Now, that's all great. That's good basic information. The other thing we have is if this particular asset paid dividends, we can add a dividend rate here, and then we can determine whether we're reinvesting those dividends. One of the nice things that IncomeMax has is to say that an asset's going to earn 8% over the life of the asset is probably unrealistic. What we do is we let you put in rates can vary. So in 2012, we might earn 8%. And then in 2017, we're going to dial that down to 7, and so on. So this lets you show your client, especially some of the younger ones, look, we're going to be kind of aggressive, then we're going more conservative as you get closer to the retirement age. Asset allocation I will cover in a different video, so look for that on the support page. Okay, so I did not actually add that asset, but we've got assets sitting here. We can edit those. Everything looks good. An asset has the concept of an event. Okay, and that's what's in this lower table. Events are ways we get money into or out of an asset. So if I had a 401k, odds are I'm contributing to the 401k on a monthly basis. I'm going to create an event that gives an annual, events are always annual, gives an annual amount of how much I'm going to put into that 401k until I retire, or at least until I stop contributing. That's what events do for you. So an asset has a starting balance, which could be zero, and then events put money into or remove money from an asset. Again, when you make changes to this screen, the results are right here so you can see the effect of those changes. And if I hadn't mentioned it, this is a summary view. So this is summary information. We can see we had the 50,000. We see the assets that we had. This is the other income area. As you kind of have picked up, when you want to make changes, the pencil icon is how you get into an edit view. So let's take a look at the other income. Other income behaves exactly like the assets did. You basically can add other income streams. You can edit the ones that you have. When you've made the change, you'll see the effect right here in the results. Last thing, as far as data for retirement, is any life insurance plans. Now, only model life insurance that's going to be in effect at the time of death. If someone has a 10-year policy that's going to run out in a year and you really don't think it's going to be available, there's no need to model it, no need to type that data in. So only model stuff that will be in effect when the person actually dies. Now we have a chance to go look at the results. So right here we can see, and if I just came into this case after a few months, this is a very quick way to get yourself back up to speed with these summary screens. I can quickly see, all right, we made our goal, we had 652,000 left for the estate, and so on and so forth. If I want to see more detail on the results, I again click the pencil. Although there's nothing you're editing here, it's showing you more detail. I get a review of the needs here, and then I get to look at cash flow. So show me what my cash flow is doing. All right, and my cash flow is the need that I had over the course of these years. We also have cash flow detail. Now, one of the things I'd like to do is I want to have a shortage in this particular case. So let me go back and let me put this at $60,000 so we can see what the shortage looks like. Okay, now my graph has steps to it. I'm 5 years short of my goal. The graphs look a little more interesting when we have a shortage. So let's go back to the results, and there we are. So we have our kind of somewhat linear graph, and then Todd dies, and off we go. So we can see Sylvia's got a problem. She's short 5 years. Cash flow detail shows us what's going on during those 5 years on a little more detailed level. What's Social Security doing? What are the income streams doing? The taxable savings there, tax deferred, and of course the shortage itself. So this gives you a little bit better breakdown of how that money is moving out of these accounts. We've got a net worth graph. No real surprises what this should look like. Downward sloping. We would of course love to see bars here. That means they have available cash at the end. Savings ledger is a year-by-year breakdown of what's going on during their savings. We show their annual need. Of course, this is in future dollars. Their taxes due, other income, and then withdrawal from savings. Always look for these icons, the informational icon. These give you good extra detail on what's going on during a particular year. So here what we're seeing is the other income has a pension component and a couple of pieces of Social Security mixed in there. So that's just giving you more detail of what this $72,000 is made up of. Balance ledger, similar concept. We have a previous balance, we have withdrawals, we earn interest, we add to our savings, and we get end balances. So that's why this is a balance view of things. We also have our rate of return ledger, which just shows the average rate of return being earned over the course of years. And I think typically, must not have done a good job with the sample data, but you'll see this kind of dial down. Maybe higher rates of return in the beginning, and they were lower as time goes on. We also have asset detail. Now, asset detail is really nice. If you're ever wanting to know, well, what did IncomeMax actually do with that asset? How much money was going in and coming out? You can you can select a particular asset, get some high-level summary information, and again, click the info icon, and you'll get that detail. So in this particular asset, we're contributing $3,000 a year, and you might not have picked up on it, but we increased that by 2%. So that goes up $60 and so on and so forth. We watch our principal increase, our interest is being earned and reinvested, and then eventually we get to the point down here where we start removing money from the asset. So we withdraw 86 and 50 and so on, and then we watch that asset's balance go down to zero. Again, the info icon shows how is this tax number, what is it made up of, and that shows you right here your tax rates and then the federal and state tax component of that particular number. The other thing you do from this screen is hit the printer icon. Printer icon will bring up a report, and this is what you would print and give to your client. Notice 11 pages. This is not a 50-page report, and that's one of the pluses that IncomeMax has. We don't overwhelm the client with so much information that they're scared to make a decision. Nice, simple 11-page report, and let me scroll back up. And what we do is we basically recap what you've just seen in the application. So we show them the objectives, when are they retiring, things like that, the assumptions that we made, such as inflation rates and so on. And then we proceed to show them all of the graphs that you just saw. All right, so take a look. There'll be other reports on the website that you can pick up and kind of page through, to see what's going on there. So one of the other things that IncomeMax does, and if you watch the Survivor Needs video, you saw this, it has auditing. And what auditing is the ability to document decisions that were made for this client. In the Survivor Needs example, I use the situation where a recommendation was given, the client chose to go against it. You would want to document that in the client notes, and after you have hit update, then you can go back and you can print a report. I'll bring that up. That looks like this. It's essentially a hold harmless agreement. We show you summary data right here. Then any text you type will go here. We give a couple spots for the client to sign and a spot for you to sign it. Again, this just helps protect you, so if the client doesn't go with your recommendations, you can document that to help avoid any possible liability issues later on. And that's a big differentiator that IncomeMax has. I am going to go over net worth and cash flow in a separate video, but it's pretty self-explanatory what that's doing. It's generating net worth and cash flow statements. That is a quick overview of the retirement area. If that looks interesting, I encourage you to go out to the website and register for a trial account, and that is located right here. Just click on the Like to Try It, Register Here button. You'll get a trial account, and you can continue to see how you like IncomeMax. Thanks for taking a look. Again, other videos on the site, and I appreciate and thank you for your time.